How can you be sure the voices you're hearing around the web are human? The answer is increasingly becoming, you can't, but more on that later. Welcome back to This Week in AI. Today we've got stories on how Google's new Gemini AI is progressing, what we might expect from Meta's forthcoming AI offering, how a popular game is bringing in AI to boost creativity, and updates on how AI regulations are coming along. As always, timestamps are in the description if you want to skip around, and if you stick around to the end of the video, you'll find out how you can get access to our new free mini AI ChatGPT prompting course before anyone else. Let's jump in to find out how Roblox is using an AI chatbot to enhance gamers' experiences. Recently, Roblox held its 2023 Roblox Developers Conference and announced the latest AI tool it plans to bring to its platform. A popular social game built around community creation, Roblox is closing in on 2 decades since it launched in 2006. With the new Roblox Assistant, creators will be able to type in prompts that can help them create things in-game, like generating virtual environments just from the words typed in. In one demo, somebody types in, "I want to make a game set in ancient ruins," and Roblox drops in some stones, moss-covered columns, and broken architecture. Generative AI has its fair share of critics, with a lot of people unhappy with the issues it can create with creative art and copyright. However, in games that allow users the ability to create worlds of their own, to play in with their friends, and the wider online community, generative AI might have a perfect opportunity to shine. It's been almost a year since the rise of ChatGPT and then Midjourney, and in that time, the AI community has been eagerly anticipating each update from Google on its forthcoming AI projects. In this latest report, we're finally seeing just how powerful Gemini, Google's generative AI model, is getting. After lagging behind the competition for several years, the public launch of ChatGPT persuaded them to vastly increase their spending on AI projects, and the latest figures show it. Research firm Semi-Analysis has reported that Gemini is outperforming ChatGPT by up to 5 times in its current form. What's more, they predict that by the end of the year it could be as much as 20 times as powerful as ChatGPT. In fact, it's so powerful there are doubts about whether Google deems it safe to release Gemini to the public, with concerns that it could shatter the entire business model of the company. We'll have to wait and see what happens around AI regulations in Western countries, as it's unlikely to see the light of day until Google is confident it complies with any regulations put in place. Speaking of AI regulations, this week we've seen a first update on progress being made in the US. There was a closed-door meeting with the Senate on September 13th, consisting of officials and a host of the US's tech industry leaders, as the country begins to piece together a plan on how to regulate AI to protect the rights and safety of its citizens. The meeting was completely behind closed doors, meaning the public and press weren't invited, so information on exactly what was discussed isn't yet available. What we do know, however, is that the 6-hour meeting attended by the likes of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg was organized to help ensure the high-level discussions around the risks associated with the rapidly growing AI industry. It's still unclear when we might see what regulations and laws for AI might look like, but meetings like this tell us Capitol Hill is looking to move forward as quickly as possible to avoid being behind the curve. Off the back of attending the Senate meeting, Zuckerberg's Meta have set their goals this week on what they want their next AI model to be capable of. The Wall Street Journal reported that Meta plans to start training its next AI model in early 2024. The company has been purchasing more and more infrastructure, including increasing its capacity of NVIDIA training chips as it ramps up its focus on AI. The goal for the new model: to compete with and rival ChatGPT in performance. With no GPT-5 in the pipeline for the foreseeable, Meta may be able to catch up with OpenAI, but with the other tech powerhouses like Google, Apple, and Microsoft willing to pump billions of dollars into their own AI projects, by the time this new Meta model sees the light of day, it might still be miles behind the competition. Next up, a heartwarming story of how AI can do some good. A nice contrast from a lot of the doom and gloom stories we hear about some of the time. Google's charity branch has announced a pledge of 2 million Australian dollars, which is just over $1 million towards a project at the University of Melbourne. The project aims to leverage AI to help identify triggers in dementia sufferers for aggressive and distressed behaviors. It'll then deliver instant therapy through music to help calm and soothe them. Around 90% of those suffering with dementia experience these agitations or triggers. And this project will use AI to learn each user's agitation behaviors and positive music interventions using wearable devices in addition to traditional methods. The user's preferred music will then adapt to synchronize and treat their agitation. Thanks for sticking with us so far. Remember that we'll tell you how to get early access to our new free mini AI ChatGPT prompting course at the end of the video. Now, remember what we said about AI voices getting impossible to identify? This week on the Vergecast, the hosts discussed just how advanced AI voice models are getting. The results are really quite scary. AI voices are everywhere. Each time you use Alexa, that's an AI voice. And if you think the voices you hear when you're scrolling through TikTok or watching YouTube are real, most of the time, you'd be very mistaken. AI is becoming more and more advanced when it comes to turning text input into speech in almost any voice and language and making it believable to the listener. On the podcast episode, they took lines from The Office and put them through a number of the current leading AI speech models to see how they held up. 11 labs came out on top, but whilst all of the models tested were impressive, they aren't quite ready to make a 100% believable replacement for the real thing. It's of course only a matter of time before further advances are made, and in the future, you might literally find it impossible to tell whether the voice you're hearing is real or AI. eBay are looking towards AI to make listing items a whole lot easier. On Thursday, the e-commerce giant announced that it's launching a new tool that'll give sellers the option to create entire product listings from just a photo using a generative AI tool. It can fill in details like a product title, description, item category, and other key information based on the photo of the item uploaded. At the moment, it's only available to iOS app users, but it'll be available to Android users soon. In a world where listings on eBay can be inconsistent and worded awfully by sellers, it's hoped introducing AI-completed listings might help make things a bit more consistent moving forward. In a moment, many designers and artists have been waiting for. Adobe's Firefly is finally out of beta. The generative AI powers features like Photoshop's generative fill tool, which can output astounding extensions of photos. It was launched earlier this year in beta, but it's now available to all Adobe Creative Cloud, Express, and Experience Cloud users outside of China. Unfortunately, due to the strict AI laws in place in China, Adobe can't roll out Firefly to users there, at least for now. There's also due to be a standalone Firefly web app that'll allow users to explore some of its generative capabilities without subscribing to one of Adobe's plans. Paid users will now also get credits they can use to access Express versions of the features. This is being put in place to limit the strain on computing expected with the wider launch. The bill will also propose security measures so AI systems don't fall into the hands of foreign states. The federal government is still working out how AI can be regulated, but states are beginning to move faster. As the majority of big tech is based in the state, what California does to bring in laws and regulations for AI may well influence and reflect the federal approach down the line. The main content of the bill, which will need more work before it can be passed, is setting out rules to make sure LLMs meet transparency standards when they reach above a certain quantity of computing power. It's still unknown exactly how laws and regulations for AI models will look when officially passed into law. But this is a great indicator of what sort of limitations might be placed on the industry when that time comes. Finally, news on how AI is being used to help potentially reunite families separated during the rule of a military dictatorship. A Midjourney user from Argentina has been using the tool to generate aged versions of photos taken during the period of dictatorship rule in the country from 1976 to 1983. The photos are of children that became separated from their families during this time when their parents were identified as political dissidents and disappeared during the dictatorship. Typically, the children were taken in and raised by families associated with the dictatorship. Santiago Barros is using the AI model to create these images. He imagines what these children may look like now as adults, picks the most realistic option from the two options produced by the tool, and posts them online. The hope is that this may help some families find each other after 40+ years apart. Thanks for watching this week's update. If you made it to the end and are hungry for more, you'll be happy to hear that we're about to launch a brand new AI newsletter. This weekly newsletter will cover all the new and exciting things happening in AI and highlight the latest tools and plugins we hear about. As an extra bonus, early subscribers will get access to a 5-part mini AI chatbot prompting course. We've been using AI since before it came out to the public and have learned through trial and error the most effective ways to prompt. By using our methods and secrets, you can become 32 times more effective at prompting and getting the result you want. Check out the link in the description for more information. Remember, we're your #1 source for all things AI, so make sure you subscribe to stay up to date. Let us know in the comments what amazing things you made with AI this week, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop us a like. Thanks for watching.